A German panzer general stands silently on a small rise outside Caen. His staff waits for orders, but none come. Instead, he watches the sky. A low roar grows louder. These are not bombers. They are flying too low. Then the first rockets hit. In just 7 hours, 450 RAF Typhoon rockets will destroy 175 German tanks. The general will later write, "We were no longer fighting an army. We were fighting the sky itself." This is the story of the day German armor realized it was no longer king of the battlefield. For 5 years, German armor had ruled Europe. Poland, France, the Soviet Union. Panzer divisions were fast, coordinated, unstoppable. German generals believed in one core truth: win the ground war and the war is yours. By 1944, Germany still fielded fearsome machines. Tigers, Panthers, veteran crews. But one problem remained unsolved: air power. The RAF Hawker Typhoon was almost scrapped. Early pilots called it dangerous and flawed. But engineers discovered something. At low altitude, the Typhoon was a monster. By 1944, each Typhoon carried 8 rockets capable of piercing tank armor. It was no longer a fighter. It was airborne artillery. German tank crews gave it a nickname: Hunter Bomber. When someone shouted the warning, men abandoned tanks instantly. Normandy was no desert. It was narrow roads, thick hedgerows, and forest choke points. Perfect for air ambush. German tanks could only move by daylight along predictable routes. RAF reconnaissance tracked everything. Every engine start was seen. The Allies created something new: a permanent patrol in the sky. They called it the cab rank, like taxis waiting to be called. The moment German armor moved, the sky answered. The day begins quietly. A German armored formation moves to reinforce lines near Caen. Then a low roar. Typhoons appear at treetop level. The first attack is surgical. Rockets slam into lead tanks, fuel trucks, and half-tracks. The road blocks instantly. Radio calls flood German channels. Men abandon vehicles without waiting for orders. This is not one attack. For 7 continuous hours, Typhoons rotate in waves. 450 rockets fired. Some miss, but near misses are enough. Tracks snap, optics shatter, crews panic. By evening, 175 tanks and armored vehicles are lost. Entire formations cease to exist. Post-war analysis reveals something shocking. Direct rocket hits were fewer than believed. But fear multiplied the damage. German crews refused daylight movement. Engines stayed cold under camouflage. Orders changed: move only at night, spread out, avoid roads. But logistics collapse. Fuel doesn't arrive, ammunition doesn't arrive, repairs don't arrive. A tank without fuel is just steel. One RAF pilot later says, "We didn't need to destroy every tank. We just had to make them afraid to use them." The Panzer doctrine is broken. The Panzer general writes later, "Any movement by day meant destruction." This is not exaggeration. German armor doctrine had no answer. Anti-aircraft guns were too few, fighters were gone. The sky belonged to the Allies. Normandy proved a brutal truth. Wars are not won by machines alone, but by who controls movement, fear, and time. Air power doesn't just support armies. It freezes them, starves them, breaks their will. From this day forward, no army would ever ignore air supremacy again. That panzer general survived the war. but his belief in armored supremacy did not. The Typhoon didn't just destroy tanks. It destroyed certainty. It proved that the battlefield had changed forever. Steel without air cover meant nothing. And from that day forward, every armored commander would look up before looking ahead. If this story surprised you, subscribe for more untold moments where history quietly changed. Comment below, which weapon do you think truly ended the age of the tank?